a global platform now that Caitlin will have coming into the professional ranks. So it's really a great time to be invested.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money.
To build, you have to scale, and ultimately expansion had always been on my list. But we didn't want to rush into it because we wanted new owners, like new ownership groups. Anyone who knows sports here knows, like, it's a slog to be a sport.
How would you prevent your most valued asset, Caitlin Clark, from joining a rival business? The world received a response from the WNBA. To this query only a few hours ago, the name of basketball prodigy Caitlin Clark has gone viral.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hey, what's up, Caitlin?
Hey, Caitlin. Hey, Caitlin.
Known for her incredible range and intense rivalry, Clark was anticipated to take the WNBA to new heights following her. Selected.
Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Clark might decide to leave the WNBA and go to Europe in order to seek the lucrative contracts that await her. Based on current rumors, however, the WNBA is now ready to provide an unprecedented ownership stake. The Indiana Fever expected Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut to be a game-changer and wanted to keep her on American soil.
Actually looked up how much the tickets are going for. I kind of cut that price in half.
Following an incredible time in college where she broke attendance records and attracted millions of. Clark was viewed by spectators as the WNBA's best chance. In recent WNBA history, she was the most eagerly awaited rookie because she has the ability to increase TV viewing, attract massive fan bases, and boost attendance to levels the league has never seen before. The Indiana Fever, who had trouble with attendance and performance, had a dramatic drop in their figures.
Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history. Clarkonomics,
Many thought she could change the franchise on her own. Thus, while she was a college student, there was more to her skill to attract admirers than just conjecture. During her rookie season, Clark's games were must-watch events in the league, resulting in an almost fourfold rise and some of the most viewed games in women's basketball history. In attendance at the Indiana Fever, this helped the WNBA have one of its finest seasons in terms of TV viewership.
More and more people, and it's getting bigger, it's getting louder, and it's a very fun environment.
Beyond simply being a WNBA player, Caitlin Clark was a ray of optimism for the future.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging.
But Caitlin Clark was even more incredible than her WNBA debut. European teams are also seeking for attractive offers. For steadiness in finances, top WNBA players like Diana Tsai and Brianna Stewart are drawn to Europe because they have publicly talked about how playing there increases their financial and competitive opportunities. Stability of finances.
The records keep coming!
Clark, Caitlin.
Like, there's that 4-year period where you need to grow as a person.
But then the NIL comes into play.
Oh,
we keep walking right back in.
Something the WNBA was unable to match. Clark started thinking about shipping because of the large cost difference. Her skills over the Atlantic when she recognized these chances. By taking contracts from European players can increase their earning potential by joining teams that offer more than what the WNBA currently does.
500,000, $1 million off your NIL? Are you staying?
In regards to Caitlin Clark, considering the actual ownership stake and the possibility of Caitlin Clark's departure to Europe, Europe gives her the opportunity to participate globally and make money in addition to securing her financial future. A decent salary with a number of top European teams that appear to be offering millions. Clark had to choose between play in the WNBA at home for less money or move to Europe to make more money. Clark received a share from the WNBA in the Indiana Fever, a first for female athletes. This audacious move recognized Clark's significance to the league's possible ownership. Stakes are typically only given to people that have substantial business endeavors or experienced athletes whose careers are coming to an end. For example, Michael Jordan's Charlotte Hornets ownership provides a player an ownership stake at such a young age, which is unheard of but shows how much the WNBA values Clark and recognizes her potential to influence women's basketball in the future. Clark is viewed as a long-term investment by the league and the Fever's ownership group. If she remains, she will participate in the team's financial choices and play for the Fever. In the previous 5 years, WNBA sponsorships, international fan connections, media rights agreements, and the overall growth of sports teams' long-term strategy and growth have been influenced by popularity, which has increased their value to spike.
NBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth.
In leagues like the NBA, NFL, and European football, this expansion is most noticeable, but franchise values in the MLB, NHL, and other leagues, including the WNBA, have also significantly increased over the past 5 years. Yet the cost of NFL teams has increased by over 40%. The WNBA is rapidly gaining popularity following this season's spotlight, as the league having the greatest potential for expansion because of CC's arrival and the new media setup. This year alone, the Indiana Fever's valuation has risen by over 40% to over $90 million. While MLB has grown by more than 42%, the NHL has grown by more than 50%.
Which is up 400% to 40%. Between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%. Between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%. What Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially.
That's probably just the start. Clark's ownership stake will allow her to amass long-term wealth and position herself to become the first female basketball player to a billionaire, being the only female athlete to reach the pinnacle of her sport and amass. She would become a member of Impact Elite, which is exclusive to Serena, if she had hundreds of millions of dollars in net worth. Williams, throughout her time in college, Clark has always had interests outside of basketball. She talked on expanding the sport and leaving a lasting impression off the field.
Picking every single thing I do, and I know I want to, help this franchise get even better, help my teammates get even better, be better for my teammates, and I know there's a lot of room for me to continue.
Since nobody offers me that in the Bice game, I wish the WNBA stakes were higher. Because of her ownership stake, the opportunity to actually influence a team's management, which might affect both the Fever and the WNBA overall. They think Clark has the potential to revolutionize the league and lead it to new heights. Letting her go to Europe would have stopped the WNBA from expanding its fan base, which would have been more than a setback for the Fever.
Not following after Caitlin Clark's been eliminated, and they're not into the league because they're conditioned by the league.
In a league with poor TV viewership, expand its global reach and secure more lucrative sponsorships. The WNBA may see an unprecedented increase in viewership with Clark's entrance, due to these important players. The league's expansion would be cemented with Clark's long-term addition.
Final WNBA playoff game, 2.5 million viewers.
Appreciate you. And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl's.
Professional sports ownership entails more than just monetary benefit. It also relates to heritage. Players who gain influence, ownership, and power. Giving her an equity stake entails more than just keeping a gifted athlete in the league. Securing the WNBA's future is the aim. The notion of a novice such as Caitlin Oza Wilson, who has committed herself to her career, could see Clark being awarded such an important prestige symbol, establishing her career and personal brand in the league, as undermining the years of arduous the effort and commitment that seasoned athletes like her have made. Wilson and other former WNBA players may view this deal as a sign that the league's dynamics are changing and that younger stars like Clark will be heavily covered by the media and extravagance. Athletes like Michael Jordan of the Charlotte Hornets are seen as more than just athletes. They might start to get special attention when it comes to opportunities and recommendations because they are powerful businessmen who have the ability to shape the franchise's future, which may cause conflict within the rooms.
Basketball right now is a miracle. Some of the fans that were unhappy with her one play, a defensive play, called for that same tumor.
Because of Clark's offer, seasoned players can feel that the promise of emerging stars overshadows their accomplishments, which would establish a standard that players in subsequent generations might anticipate. Such a deal would put Clark holds a special role within the WNBA that gives her a voice and long-term financial security in the business choices made by the Fever. For someone like Wilson, who has worked for years and gained respect and recognition, seeing a rookie take advantage of these chances could lead to conflict. It signifies a change in the league's value system for its younger, more marketable players relative to its more seasoned veterans, in addition to a gap in income.
And stay ahead of that, try and tamp it down or act as a league when two of your most visible players are involved, not personally, it would seem, but their fan bases are involved.
In the end, the NBA offered an equity stake in an attempt to keep Caitlin and its most recognizable players. Symbolizes Clark's rising fame, despite the fact that players like A.A. Wilson may feel envious and agitated through this action.
Not just one person. That's jealousy.
I agree with that.
So stop it with all the, nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese just showed you.
Because it highlights a shift in the league's dynamics whereby younger media, including seasoned champions, were not given the same chances as centered athletes. The best players in the NBA might face off over this historic agreement, which will probably have an impact on the league.
This has been as close as it's been all second quarter long, 44.
Caitlin Clark is the focus of attention right now. Will she accept the WNBA's historic offer to become a co-owner of the Fever in Indiana, or would she, like many others, go to Europe to receive a higher upfront salary?